family dynamics are complicated. You've got a marriage to manage, kids to deal with, maybe even teens. Add to that in-laws, aunts, uncles, cousins, confine them all in a small space, and you've got multi-generational travel. Multi-generational travel's been on the rise for the last 5 to 10 years, and it's not hard to figure out why. We've got fewer days off, we live farther apart, and budgets are tighter than ever, so it just makes sense to combine spring break with a trip to Grandma's house. But is it really a good idea? To get answers, we spoke to Motherlode contributor, travel writer, and attorney Lisa McElroy and her husband Steve.
Steve and I both really believe in extended family, and Steve's family is from Northern Ireland, and so a lot of his cousins are actually in Northern Ireland, as is his sister. And so I think that there's just so much to be said for, you put everybody together for some period of time, and they're really, this is like supersizing it. You have this immersion with your cousins and spending time with them. You get to know them as people, and you have a really fun time, hopefully, most of the time with it. And it just builds to relationships that are really important and significant.
Now, we've taken several vacations of this nature, and they really have provided us with some of our happiest family memories, but there are pitfalls. Remember, if you're going on vacation with the grandparents, somebody's spending a lot of time with their in-laws. Sibling rivalries and old family problems can emerge to threaten the vacation of a lifetime. Now, there are 3 areas that present the greatest threat to your family vacation, and in my experience, all can be addressed before you even pack the family truckster. They are money, logistics, and rules.
I think parents spend a lot of money to go on vacation. You go to Disney for a week with your family, it's going to cost you $4,000 to $6,000, right, for a family of 4. Because we've all been at Disney or wherever it is, and you see the kid screaming, and you see the parent flipping out because the kid is screaming, because the kid is supposed to be having a good time. And you have to accept that they're still little. It's hot, maybe they haven't had enough sleep, maybe they have had too much sugar, and they're kids. And that's part of our job as parents, is to sort of recognize that.
Now, when you're planning a multi-generational family vacation, you've got to disclose your budget, everybody specifically in actual dollar amounts. If anyone's planning to host anything else, pay for travel or meals, this needs to be disclosed ahead of time and be made very specific. The old, if you get in trouble, I can help out, while that may be very well intentioned, can lead to real conflict. So avoid it if all possible. Plan the money in advance to the dollar. Logistics. Now, it may seem like a good idea for the families to start the vacation at the airport. I think it's terrible. That's when you're under the most stress and you're most likely to come into conflict with one another. So take separate plane flights. It really will pay off in the end. Now, this will make me sound like a control freak, but I believe with a big group, a multi-generational group, you should plan every single meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner before you ever leave on your vacation. Remember that hungry kids are an absolute nightmare, and adults are worse. This may cut down on spontaneity, but hissy fits are spontaneous too. Rules. Resign yourself to the fact before you even leave that at some point in your vacation, your kid's behavior is really going to embarrass you, and they're going to suffer some serious lapses in gratitude. This will be momentary. Overreacting is simply going to lengthen the episode.
You got to decide how firm you are about your rules, and also how firm you are about your rules when you're on vacation. Right? Because we can have rules at home that we're just going to totally toss to the wind. Maybe your kids only watch 1 hour of TV, but now you're on vacation, they can watch all day if you want to, right? That's one big pitfall. And then the other big pitfall is if you get there and you find out that the kids really, they start squabbling, or they really don't want to do the same things.
It's also important to realize before you leave that someone in your group is going to have exactly the opposite parenting philosophy than you when it comes to nutrition, sleep, discipline, and everything else. Before you leave, let your kids know that the rules are going to be relaxed, but stop means stop, no means no, and your parenting applies only to them.
Typically, the times that we've traveled with family and friends, they've had kids about the same age. So you have a built-in playmate, and that's really a big part of what's great for the kids. For us, it means we've got built-in, grown-up friends, people to chum around with, and it makes it a lot more interesting. You're not doing, 6, 8, or 10-year-old stuff the whole time. There's some, adult conversation there.
Multi-generational travel has meant absolutely everything to us, and we hope that you have a fantastic trip. And when you get back, stop by DadLabs.com and tell us about your vacation. We also want to thank our sponsors, Baby Bjorn, makers of the Travel Crib Lite. That's all for us this week here in the lab. We'll see you next time.